Hello, friends and neighbors. Swaggy Man Piper 1926 here. How is everybody? Doing well, I hope. Smoking my Peterson St. Patrick's Day 2020 B10 with some Briar Fox. And for those of you who have or was considering the maybe looking into the St. Patrick's Day 2020, it's a really, when you first get it, it's actually a very nice bright green, and if you can see, it has darkened quite a bit. And I don't know if it's just the oils in my hands or the wood darkening itself, but pretty neat. Had a new subscriber since last. Flat Cap Piper. Thank you, sir, for the sub. I thank God for Friday. Working in town today. Not exactly my preferred, but you know, I'm more of the long drive kind of a guy. But I guess on Friday a short drive's okay too. So I'm sure everybody did watch Kane Ron Piper's video. His homily maybe is the right word, I'm not sure, but the honoring matches. Kane Ron told the story, the bug zapper story about being out in the lightning storm with a big metal pole, and that got me thinking. But my I believe it was early teenage years, and lightning, and I was gonna possibly try and title this video "Getting Closer to Jesus," but I figured y'all probably not watch it. Drinking some glorious black coffee. When I was from 8 up till 18, truthfully, I used to go to a church camp there in the hills of Kentucky, and you could pretty well guarantee it was first couple weeks in June, I believe it was. They'd always have a camp. You know, it was always a big deal because you got away from the house, and you get to swim, and if you wanted to, you'd fish, and the ladies in the kitchen always made a good meal, and of course, you know, have a preacher preach hellfire and brimstone, and smoking and drinking is bad, and so on and so forth. But way it was set up, and it was kind of an older camp. The cabins were block. And matter of fact, most of the structures were block. I don't think the chapel was, and I don't believe the gym was. But everything else was block, which is good because if it's hot outside, block normally keeps you cool. And but if it's cold, it's still cold. So that particular night, it come up a great big rain, and big drops. Like one hits you, about drowns you if you got on top of your head. And we had a little bit of thunder and lightning with that particular rain, which is normal. You always figure you're going to have one good storm a week, or each week a year while you're there. And being kind of up on the hill, because we was at the top, you're closer to the sky and everything. Well, that particular night, first night, just got there, unpacking and everything, getting ready for bed. Man alive, it just started a cracking. And that lightning started coming down. And a group of us boys was in the shower house, brushing teeth and whatnot, getting ready for bed. And you just heard a boom, and I mean a building shaking. To this day, I still swear that the ground shook. Because outside, on the blacktop, and I seen it out of the corner of my eye, lightning struck. So the group of the boys that was going to make the mad dash back to the cabin, which wasn't but 10, 12 feet maybe, but still in the rain, the lightning storm, we commenced to doing a small prayer and begging the Almighty that we not get struck by lightning, because it was loud and it was close, and if you're not used to it, it shook you up a little bit. So that particular night, just about before any kind of preaching or anything really happened, get a little closer to Jesus, whether you want it to or not. And I tell you what, my little boy is about, well, no, I won't say that. I have a 4-year-old. I don't know if I've mentioned that to anybody or not. And he's paying me back for anything and everything I ever did to my parents, particularly my mother. Because I'll say, well, he does this and he did that. She says, sounds like another little boy I knew once upon a time. But, what do you do for that? And he started preschool, first year of preschool, at the school that my wife teaches, her first year teaching at that school. Little Christian school here around home. So, needless to say, if anything happens, they don't call me. they go straight to her. Which can be good and can be bad, because I get to hear about it later. But out of the mouth of babes, that little snot told his teacher because, well, let me back up a minute. They send homework, but it's not homework, but a few papers home, and it's, you know, little, you trace the dotted lines, start making your letters and numbers, a few numbers. Well, he told his teacher that his mamaw said he is too young to be doing homework. Told the teacher, head teacher, right straight in his face. So, you know who was contacted. Now, needless to say, she had a pretty good time going to her mother about that, because he calls her mother Mamaw, and he calls my mother Oma, which, as I understand, is a I believe it's German. Yeah, it's German, but to say another word in German saying, I'm assuming Mamaw, because she told me the actual German for grandmother, and that's not it, but it's some kind of a familiar way of saying Mamaw. And so my wife automatically went to her mother and told her that she got him in trouble in school for something she said. And she swears up and down, well, I didn't say that. And she probably didn't. However, my grandmother is still alive. And he calls her Mamaw. So, and matter of fact, I have heard her say that before, but I never went to her and told her. It's just funner thinking it was my wife's mother. Well, folks, I'm here at my next job, so I'm going to head and jump off. But I know some of you have been talking about wanting to try the Briar Fox. Give it a try. If you like your burleys and the sweetness of Virginia, it's a right good smoke. And remember, folks, it costs you nothing to be kind. Y'all take care.